Okay, there we go. I wanted to watch this. Let me pull it up. Not that. I gotta go back up here and find it. It was too big to pull. But let's watch what the women, the 4B movement, where liberal women decided they were going to shave their heads and all of that stuff. Hey Tanya, how are you, hon? Welcome. Um, but they were going to shave their heads. Well, now I don't know if she's trying to make a new movement or what the hell this woman is trying to do, but I don't think it's going to end well for her.
Sure why no one understands how I feel. You guys know that my husband turned Republican this term. I don't know why. I threw his ass out of the house. And I have to do more. I don't want to shave my head because that's going to hurt him. I'm going to look ugly. So I'm not doing that. I think I'm going to sleep with his friends. I think that's the only way. I think sleeping with his friends will do. What do you guys think? His liberal friends, of course. Sure why no one understands how I feel. You guys know that my husband turned Republican.
Okay, is that going to end very well for her? Hey, Christy, good evening. Is that going to end very good for her? So now, the liberal women want to sleep with, since her husband turned Republican, she's going to sleep with his liberal friends. I tell you what, they have no I don't even know I don't think they have shit anymore. I think they are. So I have no idea. How are you doing, Christy? It's good to see you. She is a complete dumbass. What the hell is this world coming to? They just have no morals. Cheat on their husbands with liberals. Yeah, that's really gonna do it. That's really gonna show them. That's really gonna show them. But I did want to show you this. This is a elected official in Cook County. All right. Samantha Steele. She ended up, I'll tell you a little backstory, got pulled over. She's intoxicated and she had an accident. Now, you tell me, would any of this shit fly if you or I got pulled over?
All you gotta do is then wait for me. I'll be there in 10 minutes.
I'm waiting for him.
Yeah, you gotta come out. Get out of the car.
Exit the car.
Be careful with traffic, man. Stay right here. Stay right here. We don't want you to go out. Get involved in it. Okay?
It's fine.
Now you can hang up the phone, man.
No.
We're still doing our
My
investigation.
attorney.
Okay. Now, tell your attorney, since he's on the phone, are you going to do field sobriety test or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Are you being arrested? You say no. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. We were waiting for that. Because she doesn't refuse. I asked her to do field sobriety test and she refused. And she smelled like alcohol. She's been drinking. So you've been recorded all this time. You've been recorded.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to go to the back, before that initially happened. And I guess this is after she's been handcuffed. Would the officers ever let you or I, civilians, just sit and wait on our attorney? Furthermore, would they ever let us even use our cell phone to even call anyone? Hell to the no. They would have pulled our ass out already. But here she is.
I'm here.
They're arresting me. She's
Okay. I'll be there in 5 minutes. They just would wait
5 minutes.
until I get there. You're not gonna wait. Let's go. You've been transported.
No,
She's not doing the
I'm
field
not
sobriety
going.
test.
I'm not going.
She's under arrest right
Give
now.
her my purse. Take her
Here,
purse.
here's the purse.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not going.
Okay,
063.
let's hold on.
31.
Wait, can he go?
Let's go.
Can you give him
I'm
5
fine.
minutes?
I'm not that.
No, we're not giving him any minutes. I'm just escorting you to the
Can you
car.
give her
I'm here.
They're arresting me.
Now, first off, I have never heard of curbside service with an attorney after getting pulled over first I had an accident, then you can tell she is drunker than Goody Brown. That's just the saying us folks here in the South say whenever someone's drunker than hell. Um, it- that would never fly. And she kept saying, it's a 20-minute video on YouTube, but she kept saying over and over, well, I'm an elected official. Well, so the hell what? Do you think you hold a different standard than us American people do? And that's happened for far too long. They took you down quick. Yeah, Robin, they take me on IG quick because I was showing the turkey video. But I'm going to show it here because I didn't get to show the turkey video here. And I'm not going to say Happy Turkey Day ever again, because this is going crazy. They had already cuffed and stuffed her ass, get a phone call. Exactly, Christy. We would have not gotten a phone call. Once we got booked, that's when we would have got the phone call. But she sits there in her car, and I mean, they were very lenient with her. It goes on and on for a few minutes. Then he's talking, the officer's talking to the other officer, and I don't know who that lady is. I don't know if she was a passenger, friend, assistant, or what. But she says, does she have to comply? And the cop is like, yeah, she's got to comply. I don't know what the hell. I mean, they've been running corrupt systems for far too long. Apparently, they think that they can just get away with anything and everything, however they want to. But those days are over. But that is Samantha Steele of Cook County, guys. Samantha Steele. You guys gotta go 20-minute video. Go look her up on YouTube. You'll see the whole entirety of it. It is hilarious. They actually let her sit there and get away with a lot more than you and I, truthfully, would ever in a million years ever. But I'm going to show you the turkey video, okay? I'm going to, because IG took me down because I played it. But I'm going to play it here because I can. But this is what they're doing to the turkeys, guys.
One guy humped a shackled turkey one day, and another time, another worker was putting his fingers in a turkey's cloaca, which is basically her vagina, while the line was stopped. Some workers even bragged about their abuse.
Really? Eyeball popped out.
When people go to the grocery store and they see butterball or other turkeys all wrapped up in plastic, they just don't know what happens to the birds before they end up in the meat case. I mean, how could they? These dark plants are kept away from main roads and certainly not shown on TV. I went into this Butterball House of Horrors to show people what the company never will. If even one person sees this video and stops eating birds, it'll be worth it.
And I've got another video where it actually shows that they're blotted out, but it actually shows these individuals giving it to the turkey. That's easy as I can say it. Giving it to the turkey. And men, what'd you say, Robin? And men wonder why women choose the bear. You're right. It's disgusting. I can't believe that this is the world that we're living with. Everything that I talk about and show here, I have already posted on my Telegram. So you guys feel free to download it, show it, share it. I try to make sure where it's easier. It's Country Crazy Chat on Telegram. You guys can always download whatever you need there. But it's been a crazy, crazy week. I mean, it's kind of silent, but it's not. You know, here we've got possibility of World War III, or we possibly may be in it already. This was them lining all of this. I hate to say it. October 7th of last year was the beginning of what they chose. They did this. It was all created. They fund both sides of the war. And now Biden is wanting $24 billion to send to Ukraine. But did you know that they actually take that money and they just constantly funnel it back through? A significant portion of that money just keeps getting funneled back through. I mean, we had FTX. All that money would go to the Democrat Party. This is what we're looking at here. How do you think they were able to spend 2 point something billion on this election, which, might you add, they lost? How were they able to do that? And they're still $20 million in debt. So, you know, they've got to get all the money they can before they get their asses out of the White House. That's what we're seeing now. That's exactly what we're seeing now. So be prepared for it. But we have the illegals, the issues with the illegals. You have so many that are saying, well, we're not going to comply. We've got some in states that are actually purchasing, setting up funds for legal expenses for illegal immigrants so they can fight their case of not having to be deported. But at least Texas is setting up land, and they're actually setting up deportation legal centers to where they're getting ready for this shit. James O'Keefe. Yes, I actually have the video on here. It's the 12 or 22-minute video. I think it's a 12-minute video. I'm gonna play it here shortly. But yeah, but we have our situation with our illegals in this mass deportation that's going to take place. How is it going to happen? Actually, Mexico, just Trump talking about the tariffs he's going to put on Mexico. Mexico's president has actually stopped anybody else from coming to our border at that point. Well, the big groups that have been coming, but they have actually stopped it of what Trump is putting in there because they know Trump means business. But what is this Biden administration going to try and do, guys, before Trump gets into office? I mean, we're so close, we're so freaking close. But here's what one mayor had to say about illegals.
Hey, this is Bill Wells. I'm the mayor of the city of El Cajon, and there's a lot of talk about sanctuary cities and the sanctuary state of California. I want to make it clear right now that El Cajon is not a sanctuary city. We're going to do everything we can to work with the federal government to help ease this immigration problem, help solve this problem. The problem we're facing in El Cajon is that state law, state of California law, says that if a police officer does his duty that we're asking him to do by complying with the federal government, that police officer can be charged with a felony and lose his pension. So that puts us in a really serious situation because it basically takes frontline police officers and puts them in the middle of this political crisis, this political argument between the city, the state, and the feds. I just want you to know we're working on this problem. I'm getting legal opinions. I'm reaching out to organizations to help give us legal assistance in fighting the state of California. I'm going to fight the state of California tooth and nail over this. I want you to know that I am going to do everything I can to make El Cajon part of the solution of this horrible immigration problem and not be used by the state of California to circumvent federal law. One of the things that you could do would be to send emails to every assembly member and every state senator in the state of California and the state attorney general, Rob Bonta, and of course the governor, and tell them that you do not want to be part of being a sanctuary state and that you will rise up like the rest of the nation has done and throw these guys out of office if they don't comply. I need your help. Let's fight this thing together.
It's absolutely right. So many states want this to go into play, but you have those ones that, here we have Arizona, Katie Hobbs, of course, she's in bed with everything that's bad and corrupt. She says that she will not abide by it. Well, what does Tom have to say?
You heard this mayor out there in Colorado. I want to get your reaction to it. And I want you to be clear about who has jurisdiction, the federal government or state and local governments. And if you're a sanctuary state or city, are you breaking the law?
You're absolutely breaking law. All you have to do is look at Arizona versus U.S. You'll see these breaking law. But look, me and the Denver mayor, we agree on one thing. He's willing to go to jail. I'm willing to put him in jail. Because there's a statute, it's Title 8 United States Code 1324 III, and what it says is, it's a felony if you knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from immigration authorities. It's also a felony to impede a federal law enforcement officer. So if we don't want to help, that's fine. He can get the hell out of the way. But we're going to go do the job. President Trump has a mandate for American people. We got to secure this country. We got to save American lives. And I find it shocking that any mayor of a city would say, President Trump's been clear. We want to concentrate on public safety threats and national security threats. I find it hard to believe that any mayor or governor would say they don't want public safety threats removed from their neighborhoods. I mean, I don't know what the hell is going on in Denver, but we're going to go and we're going to fix it. If you don't want to fix it, if you don't want to protect his communities, President Trump and ICE will.
And they sure as hell will. They're terrified. Christy, yeah, it's a good point that you made. I actually had the video. You had said that 25% tariffs. Trudeau is crying. Tom Homan, he ain't playing. I'm going to be locked up. You're right. I think I have that video of Trudeau. Yeah. Let's watch it.
I had a good call with Donald Trump last night again. We obviously talked about laying out the facts, talking about how the intense and effective connections between our two countries flow back and forth. We talked about some of the challenges that we can work on together. It was a good call. This is something that we can do, laying out the facts, moving forward in constructive ways. This is a relationship that we know takes a certain amount of working on, and that's what we'll do. One of the really important things is that we be all pulling together on this. The Team Canada approach is what works. That's where, putting aside partisanship, that's where I reached out immediately to Doug Ford to agree with him that we would have a First Ministers meeting this week to talk about the United States. Talked with François Legault and some other premiers as well. There's work to do, but we know how to do it. J'ai eu un bon appel avec Donald Trump hier soir pour rappeler certains faits et parler des relations.
Okay, so that was the Prime Minister just moments ago.
He is scared. He is scared. You know, they're wanting to get him out of there. The people over there, they're wanting to get Trudeau out of there. Yeah, he's out of there. Hey, Kimberly, welcome in. Please follow, like, and share, everyone. Good to see you guys. But yeah, he is. Happy birthday! It's your birthday. Well, how is the weather in Florida? Happy birthday! Good to see you, Kim. Everybody tell Kimberly happy birthday. We don't get them that often as we get older, and when we're thankful. Hope you're feeling better as well. But yeah, Trudeau is some crazy shit taking place. Can't wait to see these people go. And you know, we was talking about the illegals. If these mayors and these governors don't want to and aren't going to enforce the law and do what the law states to do, don't worry about it. We'll arrest you and get you out. It'd just be easier to get you out of that seat. I mean, come on, people, if you really would do the math, do you know you can unseat an elected official in your state? Very easy. And even on boards, very easy. It only takes a certain percentage to do it. You just need to get a certain percentage of signatures and you'll have them bitches go. And that's a fact. It doesn't take much. Hey, baby, how are you doing, Phoenix? I like your picture. Everybody, happy birthday, Kimberly. I'd sing to you, but I'd probably sound like a cat getting hit by a car. Nice and warm. Yeah, everybody telling you happy birthday. That's awesome, guys. It's good to see everybody. I hadn't been feeling very well. I've had a very bad upset stomach, but I felt like doing a show and I thought maybe it'd take my mind off my stomach. One of my ulcers is acting up. So y'all pray for me and pray that it gets better. But we know with FEMA, okay, we saw videos in the beginning where they were setting up with all of these tornado shelters and they set up camp, I mean, quite fast and very organized after what happened in North Carolina and Tennessee. Well, this patriot actually did some digging and he found some interesting information.
So do y'all remember that FEMA camp in East Candler? The one off I-40, just off exit 37? Yeah, well, this is it. Well, it's actually not a FEMA camp at all. It's actually a DMORT camp. That's a disaster mortuary operational response team. And yeah, so this is the information on it. Yeah, y'all remember seeing that video earlier? Well, I double checked everything because I had already had intel that they were counting bodies, and that's what the reefer unit were. They were mobile mortuary units, so they could keep them on ice like they normally do at the regular mortuaries. They're just mobile units. And yeah, it checks out. I've checked with my sources and everything else, and it is 100% true. So yeah, they've been there counting bodies the whole fucking time.
Yeah, you got to keep an eye on that, Christy, because they want to stage it. Mission makes you wonder what's coming. What do they have planned? Um, yeah, this body count, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't hit over 10,000. And truthfully, because we know quite a few people who actually are there helping. And think about it, guys. I live in a small town and we have maybe 13,000 people in this town. And, people have said, complete and total towns are gone. Do you think everybody in that town was gone? No, everybody in these towns were there, not including in all the surrounding counties and the mountains. Kids, I mean, this is sad. This is disgusting. It's sad because it's all about a land grab. It's called a quick grab. I did some research on this, and with a quick grab, they'll go and offer the person that the owner of the land, a certain amount, and that person has a right whether or not to accept it or not. If they decide not to, they could be tied up in court indefinitely, and which is what most of these big companies do. They keep you tied up in court. And did you know, while they're tied up in court, they can go ahead and start building on the land, not the owner, the other. Now, this is whenever it's called a quick grab, and they see that this is land that is uninhabitable. There's a problem. There's no water systems. All this stuff is included. Guys, check out Quick Grab of North Carolina. I actually did some checking, and this is already starting. And with the courthouses gone, you really got to check in all the surrounding other counties with the courthouses, because this will turn federal. Violates the Constitution, but the quick grab, it's actually legal. It's not right by no means at all, but it is legal. And they can do what they want to while you're in court. And this is how they get the land. This is how they do it. They're just buying their time and waiting. And I was sitting there thinking, about medical records and stuff like that. They're getting, I mean, there are so many. This is stuff that will go on for generations that people will never be found. And I think they are trying to identify certain deceased to find out, because they still have the names of the people who own the land, generations, family members, and being passed down, to generations. So they already know the names of these people. I think they're trying to find specific people to confirm they're dead. So why? So then they can go in and do a quick grab. Because if all the family members are deceased, who would be there to be ownership of the land? Exactly. I agree, Christy. Our military should have been first on the scene, but we've got this crazy government in place. They don't give a crap. Oh yeah, the numbers will be well over 9/11. And this is one of the most failures of the government history. Absolutely. It sure is. It sure is. And there's just so much going on in our country. But we have a couple more videos I'll show you when it has to come to FEMA.
Officer Jeremy Slinker says it's not realistic to put an exact date on when all eligible families will be placed into housing.
We're very hopeful that it will be in the coming months.
We've previously reported on many residents in the mountains living in tents since Helene. Slinker says they are routinely checking in on those people and offering transitional sheltering assistance.
If someone wants to come out of their tent, we will find a way, working with whether it's a FEMA solution or whether the state of North Carolina has a solution or one of our voluntary organizations has a solution. We would find that.
He says they're finding that a number of people are wanting to stay in tents.
That's where they're from. That's where they live. They're worried about their property. And if they're not on their property, somebody coming in and looting it or taking things.
Deputy Assistant Administrator Julia Moline says there are also residents who have declined the option to be housed.
More than 1,000 survivors here in North Carolina have declined housing for various reasons.
But for families who have been approved for housing, it can take time. Slinker says they have to evaluate the size of the family and make sure they can keep them in the area they're from.
We may have a place for them, but it's not somewhere where they would want to go. It may be they want to remain in their school district for their kids, or they work there, or, they've, like all of us, they're from there and they don't want to leave.
In some cases, people can get housing on their private property.
We have to ensure that we can access the site, that the site has enough space for the unit, that the home can be connected to all utilities.
Slinker says they are committed to being here until every family has a safe and sanitary place to live, but the first step to get there is by applying for assistance. You can find that link on our website at WLOS.com. In Asheville, I'm Taylor Thompson, News 13.
You're right, Christy. They do want the children. They are taking the children. People are saying, oh, this isn't happening. Look, I had 3 wonderful ladies on here recently over the weekend, and we had a 3-hour podcast, boots on the ground. These ladies are boots on the ground, and can reveal and tell you so freaking much that is going on in North Carolina in those surrounding areas. Would you say, do you really think that they want to transfer a peaceful transition of power to Trump? No. They got FEMA and other agencies doing things, plus Antifa, migrants. They want war, martial law. Absolutely. But they are after the children. And a lot of people don't want to leave the tents because it's on their land and they're probably fearful, and they have every right to. They leave the tent. Who knows? They bulldoze, they do something, they keep you from being able to get back on your property. It's their property. It's legally their property. I know it's getting cold there. And my understanding is the Amish have built all those homes, hundreds of homes, and now they're trying to prevent those homes from being set up because they're saying they're not up to code. There are so many of these homes, tiny homes that have been built, that they're not allowing to be set up. Hey, if that sucker can get to electric, can get to water, why not? It will house that family. And who are you to freaking tell someone on their own damn property that, they've been through damn enough? They just want to take the property. They just want to take it. We're called crazy when we tried to tell people they were coming for the children. Oh, I agree. We were. Choose your land or children. That's what I'm saying. They're going to try to force it. They try to force the hand because, parents love their kids. Well, here we have one gentleman who is actually there.
Good morning, y'all. It's past time. It's way past time. Children are being harmed. Homes being broken up. And we are Christians, and we have the love of the Lord, and we have the power of the Lord with us. It's high time we stand up for the children, the poor, the needy. I don't know what y'all are going to do, but I have plans to go to the capital of North Carolina, and I will take my prayers against those who are allowing such abominations to take place. I will go there and I will pray that God bring righteous judgment on those people. It's high time. These are children we're talking about who are being abused for the purpose of money. I don't have a way right now, but the Lord will provide. I hope to see y'all there. I'm leaving as soon as I can get hold of the cash. And we will pray for God to do something about this situation of children being taken from their parents over a dead blame lithium pit. Taking their government taking advantage of them over a natural disaster. I will pray that God brings lice and rats and roaches and all kinds of creatures to their tables, to their beds, to their living room couch. These people deserve no better. The Lord said for us to stand up for those who are poor and needy, those who are being persecuted for no reason. So let's do it. Lord, help us, and let's all meet there, and let's let the Lord know that we need Him on the scene. Amen.
Amen. That's Rufus. He's on TikTok, Rufus.clock. I am going to reach out to him and see if I can get him to come on the show. I think he would be someone with a voice, and we could do whatever we could to get him to the Capitol and see if we can, what better way to fight the spiritual war but with the Heavenly Father. We have all of the weapons we need. We have the sword. We can do so much. No, they do not want the wrath of God. They'll find out. Yeah, they're all fixing to find out. They're definitely fixing to find out exactly what's coming. And it's sickening that this is continuously taking place over and over. I mean, here we're concerned. We've got the border open. We've got Marsha Blackburn says by the time 2025 rolls around, there will be over 550,000 children missing. That will be closer to the number, she said. But recently, there was about 22 children found, ranging in ages from 2 years old to 17. And all this one little girl had, like many of them, was a little post-it with a name on it. And I believe there was a phone number on it.
Venezuela, mamá. ¿Venezuela? ¿Sí? ¿Qué tantos años tienes? ¿2 años? ¿No vienes con tu mamá y tu papá? ¿No? ¿Venezuela? ¿Para dónde vas, mamá? ¿Dónde están? ¿Estados Unidos? Okay.
Little 2-year-old girl right there, guys. That's not even almost the age of my granddaughter. These families, I don't know if these families sell their kids or do they really think that their kids are going to a better life and have no idea. I mean, I could not ever think of letting my child out of my sight. But I mean, they're being trafficked, guys, as we sit here and as we speak. But that's not all.
I'd like to ask Mr. Carroll and anybody else that would like to answer this. Can you name some of these NGOs that have specifically taken these hundreds of millions of dollars and not used it to protect these children?
Catholic Charities, Lutheran Family Services, Jewish Family Services. I spoke to a gentleman that works in DHS. He actually sends the electronic fund transfers, and I asked him, sir, tell me, who do you send, who are you responsible for, and how much is the largest check you cut? He said, I'm over Jewish Family Services and I cut a check for $600 million. And I said, is that for like 3 years? And he told me, JJ, get in the game. That's 2 or 3 months and it's renewable.
2 or 3 months, guys. That amount of money for 2 or 3 months. As I've stated many times and others have, human trafficking outsources guns and drugs. Human trafficking is a multi-trillion-dollar business. Do you get that? You have P. Diddy in there. Okay, I wish I had that video where it had his home, which is close to where all the containers are in the ocean. You got Oprah's house. You got the housewife's house. Multiple other people around there. And what do you think he was doing with 1,000 bottles of baby oil? They call them freak off parties, but guys, he was trafficking. He was one, and I still believe there is a bigger player. I believe, I've always said it, Epstein and Ghislaine were just handlers. I believe Diddy was a handler, but he was a high-end handler, if that makes sense, because he had connections. Okay? Now, I believe they're bigger fish to fry. I believe, truthfully, that possibly is what they're doing, gradually getting it. He can't get out of jail. Hopefully, God, he won't get out of jail on bond, because we'll never see it again. He'll disappear. But word on the street is that Diddy had a master phone, okay? 3 years worth of information, videos, and everything is on this phone. Well, it was left at one of the recording studios. That phone is now on the dark web being auctioned off to the highest bidder. God only knows what is on that phone. 5 new people have come, victims have come forward. One of the victims, I'll give you a little just of one of the victims, was a male. Back in 2001, was auditioning. Diddy asked, hey, are you comfortable with nude scenes? And the guy said, yeah. He said he offered him a Diet Coke. He refused. Well, first he offered him alcoholic beverage. He refused it. He said no. So he gave him a Diet Coke. Well, the Diet Coke tasted funny, he said. And he said, next thing you know, he woke up, looked behind. He was twilighty feeling. He saw Diddy doing his business from behind. He knew it was him because of the tattoo on his chest and the gold chain with the cross, and he made out his face. Then he said he passed out again. When he woke up at this time, he was being held down on the ground by the security team. Then a white Caucasian actor was there, and he proceeded to do his business from behind. Then one of the members of the security team took out a condom, placed a metal object in his mouth to keep his mouth open for them to do the shit they were doing to him. He passed out, he said. He had to have medical attention. He had to have his whole entire mouth reconstructed. His anus had to be totally reconstructed. Other parts of inside of his body had to be reconstructed. And at one point, he threw up. And he threw up a condom, a used condom. This victim says that this victim was a young and upcoming actor as well in 2001. And he states that this is just one of the stories of the victims. And he goes on to state that this scarred him for life. Of course, you know what I'm saying? and imagine the horrors of others. And there's stories coming out. I've got videos of a woman who's older now, but she said she was 10 years old whenever Diddy did what he did with her. And the stuff he did with her, just as bad. Just as bad. Hang on, gotta scroll down. The girl, Misha, in Under English talked about, it has come out during interviews. She was on 11 or 13. I actually have those videos on Telegram. God has a hand on his nation and all corruption. God has watched and seen, and they will reap what they sow. And for their evil, the spirit of death is upon them. God's word says it. Amen. If you can give 100 billion to Ukraine, why can't we give 1 billion to each American? 100 billion. We've actually stated that as well. We've actually said that too, Phoenix. No one, that's what I'm saying. There is no reason why people in America are poor. There should be no reason. The only reason why is because they're richer. They keep getting richer. They are stealing and making money off every American, every single American. She was only the one that they were eating off on the table. Oh, I remember seeing that on the privates. Are you kidding me? I saw that video earlier. Guys, this is some sick stuff. This is some sick individuals. This is pure evil. You can only imagine. Are you going to tell me throughout this whole entire thing nobody died? Bullshit. Bullshit. 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I would like to know, he lived in a pretty fancy neighborhood. I would like to know the surrounding, well, he probably had a huge privacy wall up. You'd still see people coming up, people across the street and stuff. They have cameras. I would like to know if those people that, live around him have cameras. And here we've got Ellen DeGeneres, who has completely left the US, dyed her hair brown. I mean, think about it, people. And if you notice that these stars are all coming out, since Trump's got in office, and they're talking about how they're leaving the country, that they're terrified that they're leaving the country. Why are you so terrified? Because Trump knows. He knows what's going on. You think it's like 1 trillion? Janet Yellen's resigning speaks volumes. Yep. But they all part of it. Justin Bieber, sad. The one neighbor said that they bust children into Diddy's. Yeah, I saw I think I saw an interview where he didn't want to be seen, but he did say, but Diddy, the judge actually told Diddy to stop witness intimidation. Now, everybody think, well, how could he be doing witness intimidation behind bars? Okay, we're talking about Diddy, okay? Excuse me. I've been drinking 7-Up. It soothes my stomach a little bit. But he's been taking phones from other people in the jails, in the cells, and he's been using their time, and he's been trying to get other people on the outside to actually threaten to kill these people, even the security teams. I mean, he is literally intimidating. I'm telling you guys, this judge, I think we have a judge who's actually doing their job. Most judges, you know what I'm saying, would have let him out already. But apparently we have a judge that doesn't and hasn't done anything, because that's how you know. In a situation like this, if a judge would release the person after he already ran once, come on, then he's got some goods on him. This judge, he's 10 toes down. Plain and simple. He says, nope, not going to happen. But yeah, Diddy, he's doing witness intimidation now, and the judge had actually told him no, not to be doing that. Well, he's doing it. But Sharon Stone has thrown her hat in the ring now, and she is going on and talking about what life is like with Trump winning in an office.
You know, Italy has seen fascism. Italy has seen these things. You guys, you understand what happens. You have seen this before. My country is in its adolescence. Adolescence is very arrogant. Adolescence thinks it knows everything. Adolescence is naive and ignorant and arrogant. And we are in our ignorant, arrogant adolescence. We haven't seen this before in our country. So Americans who don't travel, who 80% don't have a passport, who are uneducated, are in their extraordinary naivete. What I can say is that the only way that we can help with these issues is to help each other. Now, we can't just say that women should help women, because that's the only way we have survived so far. We must say that good men must help good men, and those good men must be very aware that a lot of your friends are not good men. And you can't continue to pretend that your friends are good men when they are not good men. And you must be very clear-minded and understand that your friends who are not good men are dangerous, violent men, and you have to keep them away from your daughters, your wives, and your girlfriends. Because this is a time when we can no longer look away when bad men are bad.
Bitch, don't you have a plane to catch? That was a good one, Christy. Did you guys get just for a moment there, did you get like a Kamala Harris vibe while she was talking? And I think the dude was sitting there at one point, he thought it was over and he started clapping. I mean, so many of these stars are saying they're leaving. We got Angelina Jolie says she's leaving the U.S. Who else? Robert De Niro's leaving. We knew his ass would be on the next plane out. I mean, he was standing up there for these people running, guys. They're not leaving the country because of Trump. Well, they kind of are, because he is going to put the hammer down on it. They are scared because you know why? Because Diddy's in there. Diddy's got all the goods on everyone. Think about it, guys. Everyone that Kamala pulled up on the stage with her had been to Diddy's parties and very close to Diddy. It did sound like Kamala wrote that, didn't it? Richard Gere, he sold his shit even before Trump won. He sold his shit. So that's how, you know what I'm saying? That was more of the Diddy situation. They can use Trump all they want. They ain't gonna come out and say, "Oh, Diddy's in jail. We got to run." No, they're guilty, guilty, guilty. And you know, guys, I saw the one video of Ellen after she dyed her hair brown, and there was someone taking the video in the restaurant, and she was like, she didn't want to be on video. When have you known Ellen to not want to be on video? Any of these stars. And you know, it's sickening with Hollywood at this point. I hope they all go down. They've been doing this shit for decades. And it's time, centuries. It's time. It's time. And, you know, I remember, if I think back when 2020 happened, and I remember, do you guys remember, or am I just like, wasn't there a video of the White House and there was a whole bunch of children that came out in the front? I will find that video and I'll try to post. I've got it somewhere. I think it's on my Telegram. It's just way back about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Also, what were all of the buses in Washington, D.C.? What was that? Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember all those buses in 2020 after what was all of the buses? But I do remember seeing a bunch of children come out. I do remember seeing that for sure. I just gotta find it. You remember that, Christy? I do too. I mean, what was that all about? I mean, people say that there are tunnels. Of course, there are tunnels under the White House. And they say, and I remember one time there was it was a huge some kind of machinery, and it was for ventilation. It was for ventilation. And if you guys remember back in 2018, now people will say, no, this didn't happen. There's video evidence of it. That big Navy ship that showed up, it was a hospital ship. And in Central Park, if I'm not mistaken, tents were set up, and babies and children that had never seen the light of day that were born in underground. You guys got to think about this. The Bible even talks about people below. These kids, human trafficking, they do it now. They're getting ballsy. They do it in plain sight, but they do it in containers and stuff. But you got to think these tunnels were used for a reason. They have been funneling these children through these tunnels. There are towns underneath. You guys can call me crazy. I don't care. I'm glad you're crazy. But there is towns underneath in these mercy ship. That's right. And these kids and women are having these kids. There are kids that have never, ever, ever, they've been born in the dark. Their vision is set for darkness. This is facts, guys. And it was Mercy Ship. It was in Central Park. And it had docked in New York. They tried to play it off as if it was because of COVID and they needed extra space. But why was there tents with all kinds of newborn NIC facilities, diapers, baby formula, all of that? I mean, the shit ton of that was going on. And then they had Mercy Ship show up, and it was a hospital ship. I believe that. I do. I believe that with everything in me. New York, those babies they pulled from underground. Allie Carter talks about that stuff. Yes, everyone check out on Allie Carter's page on Telegram. She speaks a lot of facts. But yeah, I remember seeing all of that going on. It's happening, people. I mean, if they don't want to talk about it because they're complicit in it. They're part of it. They're making the money. I'm not crazy. I've never breathed fresh air. That's why they needed so many respirators. They weren't used to COVID. I never thought of that, Robin. Good point. Never thought of that. Illuminati symbols that the Hollywood elites would use was clear evidence what they are connected to. Child trafficking. They worship Moloch and God of sacrifice. You're right, Lee. Absolutely right. You guys are on point tonight. On point, guys. So yeah, this is crazy. But with the inauguration coming up, January 6th, we've had a lot of people. Well, first, Biden has said, yeah, it will be a peaceful transition of power. Guys, do y'all have like an eerie feeling with that? I mean, they're just so, and Biden says he'll be there. And it's just like no issues, no problems. And here they were constantly rasking, we'll invoke civil war power. Something just feels like something's coming. I don't know, guys. I just have this feeling about something, and it's just maybe it's my discernment, maybe it's my radar, maybe it's just staying on high alert. I don't know. But one gentleman is actually calling for people to get together because he wants to make a huge spectacle.
You know what? Bet. I mean to be at the Capitol to change the world, and I need everyone's help to do it. I mean to make the biggest spectacle I possibly can of myself with more than 20 million people at my back. Yep. I am weaponizing Blue Sky, I think is what I'm attempting to do. I am attempting to weaponize Blue Sky in raising me up to the level of giants so that I can say our piece. Now, you can be with us or against us, but you need to be there, ready in whatever way that means to you. So when I march on the Capitol, so do you. And I just hope to God we can avert war.
Was he calling for an insurrection, y'all? Is what I would say that is calling for. That's not a peaceful protest. That is someone calling for, and he's talking about, you know what? They've got these people planted everywhere, and he said 20 million. How many have come across the border? They're saying about 20 million. And then you had AOC saying she was going to go to emails. Abortion, sacrifice, Moloch. You seen the Satanic Church doing abortions? Oh, yeah. They are the foot soldiers. Latinos have tunnels all under the border. They do. But he's calling for violence, is what it sounds like to me. I mean, do you think the FBI is going to go knock on his door? I mean, do you think he's calling for anyone and everyone? Blue Sky. Have y'all heard of Operation Blue Sky before? I haven't heard of Operation Blue Sky before. This is the first time I've heard of it. I'm gonna have to do some digging in that. I know Christy's on it. I know Christy, she's on it now. What's Operation Blue Sky? I'm curious about that myself. Let's see if there's anything about it. Or is it something he just made up? Let's see. Operation Blue Sky. See what it is. Operation Blue Sky is a program at West Virginia University that aims to create safe, fun, and curious community. The program pillars curiosity, the find. 4 initiative encourages people to find 4 hours a week to be curious. Safety. The 2, it says 2 is the number 2. The find has a number 4. This one under safety has the 2 gather. Initiative aims to increase community and belonging through social gatherings, book clubs, and seminars. Then it has fun, let's play, of creating dedicated spaces for fun. I don't know if this is what he's talking about. It refers to a process that honors law enforcement officers who died in the line of duty. I don't think that's what he's talking about to y'all. I don't think that's what he's going with. They want to do anything to him, but will lock up people praying in front of the abortion clinic. I know. I don't know. Something just don't sound right. I'm gonna have to do some research. Christy, we're gonna have to do some research on Operation Blue Sky because Blue Sky Memo. The Blue Sky Memo was a document authored by a Central Intelligence Agency. The premise of the memo was to describe actions the CIA should undertake. Now, I don't know if that's part of it or anything, but there's like 2 or 3 different things that have to do with Operation Blue Sky, but I don't know. I'm curious about it. Very curious about it. We'll have to do some investigating. And we have one guy. This guy makes some sense.
I keep hearing how there are Republicans that are going to block Donald Trump's appointments like Pam Bondi or Tulsi Gabbard or whomever, right? Here's a word of the wise. Lisa Murkowski, we understand. Susan Collins, we understand. But Tom Tillis, I'm talking to you. John Cornyn, I'm talking to you. Stand in the way of his appointments. You do so at your own political peril because you will get your ass tossed out as it should be. Donald Trump was elected with a mandate. You as Republican senators need to give him the people that he intends to work with to move this nation forward and make America great again. Lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way.
You see, they're trying to fill every seat they can. That way, when Trump does get in office and tries to pass these bills, which is part of the initiative of saving America and making it great again, they're hoping to, let's just say, stack Congress, stack the seats. You know how they try to stack the Supreme Courts? They're actually trying to do that now, too. They're trying to place as many as they can of the nominations in there so they can. Well, here's a topic. Trump has said that he wants to remove transgender from our militaries.
Are acting as if they're women. They're not. I'm sorry. Does that instill confidence in your leadership as a sergeant, as a private, as somebody working in the trenches in a foxhole or on a front line? I mean, come on.
No, it doesn't. And it reflects in the lack of the recruiting and retention, because we see the focus on pronouns and all of these things and, drag queen shows and drag queen recruiters. That's not the purpose of our military. And I think the other thing we have to realize that Barack Obama got rid of some 180, almost maybe 183 senior level general officers and flag officers that did not get on board with what he was doing. He just simply did it quietly. He didn't put out an executive order, what have you. And lastly, I want to say this, hopefully no one gets upset or offended, but if you look down in your pants and you're confused about whether or not you have a choo-choo train or a tunnel, the United States military is not the place for you. We're not about social engineering. We're not about paying for your hormonal therapies and your surgeries.
No, we're not. And, I was talking about this today with some people, that this administration has pulled the bar down so low to allow transgender to be part of the military. When Dan Bongino, I believe, or who is it? I think it might be him. He's been in many wars, and I'm not sure if it's him or not. I don't know if it's him or not until it's going to do it. But we need a strong individual who can set things right and up that bar to a point and get it back, because military is supposed to be strong. Military, okay, nothing against anyone who is transgender, part of the LGBTQ plus community. If that's your thing, that's your get, that's it. But in our military has to be tough, has to be strong, not a pansy ass that just wants to put a uniform on and say, oh, I'm in the military. And when it comes down to it, they dropped even regulations of what you have to pass in these tests just so they can allow them in by them just saying they're transgender alone. But let's just say if you get caught and you're prisoner of war, there is a protocol you go through. Do you really think, and it could put other soldiers in jeopardy, because that's a security risk. It's a huge security risk. I have to agree. I just don't believe that belongs in the military. They've dropped the ball and they've pulled the bar down so low that just because you want to be in the military and put that uniform on, and Constitution, and you sign on the dotted line and you say you're going to do this, and fight for our country. Sadly, I think we've got a lot of individuals that don't understand that, and it was all about, they call it their movement. But our military has to be strong, because that's what keeps us safe. That's what protects us. It is no place for it. And I'm not trying to be mean or rude to anybody. I've got friends who are trans, but they understand. That's the difference. They understand and they actually align themselves with the same beliefs that we are talking about. There's a time and place, and that's just not a time and a place that it should be taken. You know, we are in gunfight. Wait, I need my hormone shot. Exactly. Get the fuck off. I mean, that's what I was thinking. I mean, literally, I was talking about this today. I was like, if they got captured, um, would they turn on their fellow soldiers, their brothers or sisters? Would they even know how to fight? I mean, we've got all these countries. We've got China, you know, where they got 2 million in their armed forces, and they're constantly every day, daily, you know, grinding it. They weaken the military to keep their deep state from being taken over. The military protects the Constitution and they swear an oath to preserve it. Exactly. That you're on point, Lee. They do. They weaken the military to keep the deep state from being taken over because who was it earlier that said that the military should have stepped in? Christy, you may have said that. Absolutely right. They should have. They should have stepped in. But here in Tennessee, Christy, you're in Tennessee as well. Governor Lee actually had put a bill in place to keep transgender transitioning out of our schools and our children. Well, of course, the Biden administration's fighting this. Well, the Supreme Court is going to hear.
Next week, we have a really important case about transgender rights for minors who've been denied any kind of gender-affirming care in Tennessee because of a law that was passed there in 2023. The Biden administration is defending that law, John, and if ever there's a real target for Sam Alito, it's the Biden administration's lawyers when they appear, and if there's ever a subject for real sympathy from Justice Kagan, it's when the Biden administration stands up there. So I think we're going to see a lot of tension when that case is argued next Wednesday over Tennessee's ban on transgender care.
Well, I'll tell you, Tennessee does not want that shit. We don't want that here. You leave our kids alone. This is a Bible Belt, guys. This is our kids. A kid, do you understand? Some of these surgeries take multiple surgeries to be. And I have seen, you go on YouTube, guys, and you'll believe me, watch the transitioning videos of people who've actually completely transitioned 100%. And a lot have passed away, and so many have got some major health problems, and not to mention the psychological aspect of it. Governor Lee is on point. Biden can pound sand. I agree. Biden needs to pound sand with all the devastation he's ran. I saw that video last night where he was crying. He was crying because it was his last dinner, you know. Let's see if I can find it. He had cry, buddy. We want you gone. Bye. Bye. We're good with it. We're good with you gone. It's that simple. I think there it is. Yeah. I'm gonna leave you guys out with I can get this one video to load quick. I was playing around last night and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna mess with this one. I don't know if that's it or not. Let's see. Yeah. Here we go.
That's right.
I thought stuff like that. Y'all know how it made me feel jumping on that bed. Oh, I've been sore today. You're right, Christy. Leave the children alone. The children, those are our children. You have no business in our kids' lives. That's our babies, and we are not going to allow it. It's that simple. that simple. So I could put that there. Okay. Well, everybody, I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Thank you so much. We did about an hour and a half tonight. Please like, follow, and share. And hey, everybody, just pray for our country and pray for Trump, because we're at that stage where anything could happen, and we need to be very vigilant to what's going on. And we know in the end, God wins. He just wins. And as always, everyone, country crazy out.